Hey, what's going on everybody? Drakefire here. Got another video for you for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands today. I was farming some volatiles, trying to get the gear that I need to do my companion build video, and I decided to run the Buffmeister build, and I ran across an interaction that is absolutely hilarious and kind of overpowered, and I thought I should stop and go ahead and share that. Didn't plan on making a video today, but I really couldn't miss the opportunity to talk about this one. So before I begin, I didn't make the Buffmaster build, I didn't discover it. I learned about it through FlufflyZ_TV, and I'll have a link to his video in the description. But this is my basic understanding of the build and how I ran with it, because I don't have the same classes as him. So without further ado, let's jump right into the build and what we're doing here. So we're going to be going Spellshot, and I'm a Graveborn. It's my favorite class, so Graveborn's going to be our secondary. So we're going to go ahead and fill the Graveborn side of it first. We're going to take 3 points into Faithful Thralls, and then I did 4 points into Mortal Vessel just for a little bit more survivability. 3 points into Harvest because that spell or that ability is so strong. 3 points into Dark Hydra because more pets are better pets. I put 2 points in Sanguine Sacrament just so we get a little bit of healing when we cast our spells, which we're not going to be casting very often, but when we do it does help. And then I threw 3 points into Ascension for extra spell damage. Now obviously we're going to be taking Ambihextrous because we're going to want 2 spell slots. And reloading is going to be kind of important for this. So we're going to go ahead and max out Prestidigitation. We're going to get 3 points in Magic Bullets. We are going to take 5 points in Just Warming Up. And that's, you know, along the same line of things. With the Buffmaster, you want to be able to fire fast. So it'll make a little bit more sense later. And this is just spell damage going to gun damage, again, for the Buffmeister build. We're going to take both Mage Armor and we're going to take Glass Cannon because we're going to be reloading a lot. Mage Armor is going to work really well, and more spell damage is, well, more spell damage. We're going to want high thread count. We're not going to take Warcaster in this build, but we are going to go ahead and grab Imbued Weapon. We're going to get 3 points into Double Knot. That's, you know, when we score a critical hit with a spell, we get bonus gun damage. Then 1 slot, 1 kill, again, for more gun damage. And, of course, Sever the Thread. Now, for our gear, obviously we need a Buffmeister spell. Mine isn't the best in the world. It's what I had. I haven't run across a lot of them. So I went ahead and put that on there. And then with Buffmeister in the left slot, you want the highest damage spell you have. I have this monstrosity here that's 5,200 damage with plus 1352%. So that's going to do the trick for us. For my armor, gun damage and all damage dealt, Spellshot primary. For my necklace, Spellshot with frost damage because the gun I'm going to be using is frost. And then I got a little loot luck on there, so I'm happy about that. And over here, whenever our shield is depleted, we do more damage when we're standing next to it. That's going to come in handy. And on spellcast, 30% more frost damage again. Then over here for our rings, we actually went with gun damage. And I got some SMG critical hit damage on here, which is pretty awesome. And that'll go well with the build. And for the weapon I'm using, it's going to be a Ferrior. And it's going to be the one that when I throw the weapon, a gun comes out with wings and shoots the enemy before homing in and exploding. It has 4 bullets per shot, a very fast firing rate, and a pretty good reload rate. And this is exactly what we want for this kind of a build. And then obviously I have my Goblin Pickaxe over here because you never leave home without it. So how does this build work together? Normally, when you cast Buffmeister, you do damage, and you can see there 50k, 97k, 114k, so forth and so on. What I realized is that these flying guns do gun damage, but they also count as companions, which makes me stronger. So if I just cast a few of these, get my spell threading up there a little bit, you know, a few stacks won't hurt us. And then I do this. Well, you can see most of those damage numbers were over 200k. That's a big difference. But it gets better. These little guns that we talked about that fly around, they do the same damage. And they auto-seek and they fire 3 shots at a time. And we can have multiple of them up at the same time. So I want to keep this video short because everybody pretty much already knows about Buffmeister, but I want you to be able to see this interaction and how insane it is. And it also should mention from my last build that these guns will reset our Spellshot capstone. So we don't have to worry about our Buffmeister being down and us using our own weapon to get it back up. The weapons are going to do it for us. So without further ado, let's get into some quick gameplay so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I picked an obelisk because usually lots of stuff spawning here. We only really need one, so we're going to summon a whole bunch and just watch the chaos. They're going to reset our capstone for us, so really, you don't have to do much except keep the little boys flying. And they just destroy everything. It is just straight naughty. It is. If Buffmeister wasn't strong enough already, it's pretty much like having 4 or 5 Buffmeisters just flying around, doing all your dirty work for you. Alright everybody, well that's all I got for you today. Just a really quick interaction that I found that works with Buffmeister to make it 4 or 5 times even stronger than it already was. Honestly, with the fact that the Fiors go out and seek their targets automatically, it kind of makes it even stronger than that. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe. And if you want, come over and find us on Twitch. I stream most days out of the week at twitch.tv/Drakefire. I'd love to have you join the community. Have a great day.